So I'm ready to remove the connecting rod from the crankshaft. It's secured by a bolt up here, and then there's a second bolt down below. But they're specially designed, and you need a special tool with a very special end on it, but you can get that at Napa for removing the bolt. And it fits right on the end of the bolt like that. And then what I do is I use a 13 millimeter socket, and I put that onto the end of the tool like this. So once again, it's the 13 millimeter socket and then the special tool, and I use a long extension for getting past the cylinder studs, and then I plug that in to my breaker bar, and then I've got enough leverage to back those bolts out. So I went to my breaker bar, and that managed to crack it free. So I've backed out one of the bolts, and I'm getting ready to take out the other. There's a half of a shell on the back of the connecting rod around the crank, so I'm going to try to catch that with my hand and keep it from dropping into the oil pan, but if it does, it's not the end of the world. So I try to rotate the crank so I can get good access, and then back out the rod bolt here. I'm going to use a little special tool to get just a little leverage on it. Yeah, just about free there. So that's the second bolt. Now I can slide the rod off the shell, assuming that it wants to come. And it doesn't want to come very easily. So I got the rod to separate from the other half of it, which is here. And I used a little screwdriver, a long bladed screwdriver, and just could reach in and tap on the very back edge of the back bearing cap, just gently on the top and the bottom. And then it was easy to pull the rod away from the cap. This is the inner bearings shells, 2 of them, and you'll see that there's a pin and a pin, which is aligns with the bearing shell on the back. And then further inside here, you can see that here is the journal that the rod runs on all the way inside the engine.